Jack's got himself a Predator generator, and I purchased the Wen generator. And Jack purchased his generator from
Harbor Freight.
for how much?
It was on sale $4.49. Its normal price is $4.99.
And I picked mine up at Home Depot, and it was on sale for $4.58. So generally about the same price. They're both 2,000 watt generators and 1,600 watt running watts. So what we'll do is we'll open these up and show you how we fill it with oil, gasoline. We'll start them up, and then we'll do a little side-by-side comparison. Jack's generator touts at about 47 pounds. This one in the package is about 54 pounds. The Predator generator has a, what's the decibel readings on that?
66 dBs.
66 decibels, 50% load or full?
I think it's 50% load, yeah.
So 50%, about 66 decibels. And this one's touted at 51 at a quarter load, and about 55 or so a half load. So we'll do a little run side by side, and then we'll see what these things can power. We've got a little 1,500 watt heater that we'll plug into it, and then we'll bring down a little 5,000 watt or 5,000 BTU air conditioner and see if that'll run off of these generators. So without any further ado, let's unbox these bad boys and see what we got.
Spark plug wrench, screwdriver, jumper cables. For what? I don't know. If I can.
You can do it! You can do it!
She's pretty.
Yeah, she is.
Okay. We got it out of the box. And we got the spark plug wrench, screwdriver, handle, wrench, then the jumper cables if you need to charge a battery.
So you're about all set?
All set.
Sweet. So we'll unbox the Wen. Instructions, you get yourself a toolkit, you got your DC connection,
Identical to the Predator.
pretty much. The only thing that I think that the Predator doesn't have, that this one does, is the funnel.
Funnel.
Yeah, so it comes with a funnel, so we'll load that up with some oil.
That's an $8 funnel.
Home wrecker.
Awful pretty.
Yeah, nice and pretty. So that's the Wen 2000. It's got the new color scheme of orange, which the older ones had the yellow, and I think the orange is a little more attractive. So now that we got that out of the box, we got the Predator out of the box, we basically have the same toolkit, which includes spark plug wrench, get yourself a handy dandy little screwdriver, Phillips,
Same
and
color.
a little wrench. Yep. So next what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll just compare them side by side, show you a little bit of features about them, and then we'll bust them open, show you how we fill them with oil, and then we'll top it off with some gas. We'll start these up and see what they can do. So with the two generators sitting side by side, Predator is just a little bit thinner than the Wen. So for the features on here, you do have the on and off switch here. So you have your choke and you have your run. You also have the eco mode. You have two outlets. You have a connection for paralleling if you wanted to connect two generators side by side. And you also have your 12-volt plug-in system here, which you can plug in, and the alligator clips connect to a battery and be able to charge a battery. One feature that the Wen has that the Predator doesn't have is the USB port here that you can charge your cell phone or other devices out in the field. So on the Predator side, basically the same thing. You have your on-off switch, start, which would be your choke mode. Once it's running, then you slowly run it, click it to run. And you also have your econo mode switch here, which is off when you start it. You have your two 120 outlets here, a reset switch, your ground, and also a 12-volt with a reset. And of course you have your low oil and your overload and your output. These should be green when you have power running through the system here. So next is we'll one by one take these apart, the side panels, and show you how we put the oil in it. So to access the oil fill for the Predator, Jack needs to remove these 3 screws on this side of the generator. Pull that and then lift up on it. There you go.
Okay.
And then this is the oil fill right here. So what we'll do is we'll remove the oil fill cap, we'll put our funnel in there, slowly put oil in, and we are going to fill it right to the end of the thread. So our oil fill should be right to the end of the thread. Lets us know when we've got plenty of oil.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and run the oil, the funnel right in here. Jack's going to slowly pour in some oil. And when filling these, you want to make sure that you're on a flat, level surface. Now the instructions call for about 0.35,
Down 800.
0.375 quarts. Oh, nice. So now Jack has got it pretty well topped off. The oil is right at the threads where we want it, so we're just going to do a little cleanup here to make sure we get all the oil off. And then Jack can put the oil cap back on.
Give it a thread test.
Mm-hmm. And I say you're good. So what you want to do is check your oil. Is you'll put your dipstick in, you won't use the threads, and then pull it out, and then make sure that you're within the limits here. Now we'll just do a little cleanup. Jack will put the cover back on, and then we'll oil up the Wen. Good deal. So oiling it up is pretty simple. So we'll slide the Wen over, and we'll do the same process, and we'll see how easy that one is. So with the Wen generator, it actually has a little access plate here instead of taking off the whole side panel to get to your oil fill. For the Wen, it's recommended a 30 weight oil, and for the Predator, it was recommended a 10 by 30 for general use. So 2 different oils. And to take this access plate off, you need a screwdriver, which they don't supply. Turn that to the right and just pry that plate off. Lift that out and your oil fill is right here. So basically the same thing as the Predator. Take out this oil fill, and when after I fill the oil, I went ahead and purchased the optional magnetic oil cap. So when the oil's filled and you put that back in, any shavings or anything like that, any metals that are down in the crankcase will hopefully stick to this. So every time you check the oil, you clean that off, and that should keep the crankcase pretty clean. So now let's fill it with oil. Okay, Jack, you do the honors, buddy.
You're gonna hit.
I think Jack gets more on me than he does in that crankcase. So we'll clean this up a little bit. There's not room to wipe up your mess if you spill it in here. So we'll check our oil real quick. Alright, so we'll put the lid back on, we'll clean it up a little bit, and then we'll add some fuel. So comparing the filling of the oil with the Predator was much easier. The Wen allows oil to run behind. The lip is so shallow that oil runs down in here. So I would recommend that you do take the whole cover off and then place a rag down here behind but when you go to fill it, or else you're going to have to remove it anyway to clean up the mess. So thumbs down for the oil fill on the Wen. I do like the Predator. It was much easier to fill without the mess. So we'll button that back up and then we'll fuel them up. So with the Predator, they recommend totally filling it up, and I think it goes right to that red line right there where it says level. So once Jack reaches that point, he'll stop and we'll put the lid back on. So as Jack continues to fill, both the Wen and the Predator also have a fuel gauge. It'll let you know when you're running low on fuel. So if I'm reading that right, looks like he's about 3/4 full. Good job, Jack!
Too much now.
So I've got the same kind of setup as Jack does. As far as the fill line, you want to come over here and take a look down in there. So it's the same thing as the Predator. Got the little red indicator where it's level. So we'll go ahead and start filling this up. Alright, so we're topped off. We've got our vent is in the off position right now until we get ready to start. And then fuel indicator, looks like we're full. Okay, next thing to do is start them up. Alright, so the big moment has come. We've got it oiled up, we've got it fueled up, and now we're about ready to start. So the first thing Jack is going to do is turn the vent valve to on. He's going to turn the switch, make sure the eco mode is off. Down.
Down, that's off.
And then he's going to set a selector switch to start, which is a choke mode. And then he'll give a couple cranks on that handle. It's going to light up, and then he's going to move that to the run mode. And then about a minute later, he'll click on the econo mode, and hopefully it winds back down. Even at full speed, it isn't that loud. go ahead and kick the econo mode. Oh yeah, it puts right along. What do you think of that?
I like it.
It's not very loud.
Let's go camping.
Yeah, we'll let that run for a minute, and then we'll switch that one off and then try the Wen. So in comparing them side by side, Predator and the Wen. So the Wen seems to be a little bit wider, and we just kind of figure it was the casing. The other thing that we noticed, this is the exhaust for the Predator, exhaust for the Wen. Look where that's located. So hopefully that doesn't interfere and melt this plastic when it's running, because it's definitely off center. Alright, so we've been running for a few minutes here, so Jack is going to go ahead and turn that to the off. That's quieter than a lawnmower for sure. Alright, so now we'll give the old Wen a little pull. Same thing. We're going to open up the vent on the gas fill. Go ahead and make sure that the econo mode is off. Put that on our choke mode. Give it a couple of tugs. Hopefully it starts. I'd say side by side, I think the Predator is just a little quieter. Should just be able to turn it to the run. Give it a shot. Well, side by side, I guess on the low speed, about pretty much the same, I think. All right, let's see what these things will run. So we've got a little heater set up. Right now it's on the low setting, so about 750 watts. Jack is going to kick that on, and we'll listen to it rev up. Yep. And we got some heat going out here. So that's 750 watts. So next, there's a selector here on the back. It'll turn to high. So 1500 watts. Revs it up pretty good. Ooh, I can feel the heat off of that.
Oh, I can feel it here too.
Kick it back to the low setting. Nice. Perfect. So that test worked out pretty good. It runs that no problem.
You want to start yours?
Yeah, go ahead and turn yours off. Perfect. So that run 750 watts, 1500 watts, revved up. So let's give it a shot on the Wen. Alright, so same test. Vent open. Put it on run mode since we had it running for a second. Econo switch is off. Turn that econo mode switch on. And we kick on the heater. So 750 watts. Got some good heat. And we'll kick it on 1500 watts. Alright, so here's our ultimate test. We got a 5,000 BTU air conditioner, and we want to know, will these generators run this thing? So Jack's going to start his generator up, and then he's going to hit the switch on that air conditioner. And because he's already run it, should just leave it in run mode, fire it up. Give that a second, and then he'll flick the switch, and we'll see what this thing does. Anytime you're ready. Oh, no problem.
None whatsoever. The heater's drawing more power than this.
Oh yeah, she's blown cold. Barely even moved that generator. This is just a basic on and off, so once you kick it on, that compressor's on. So we got cold air. I actually thought when you hit the switch I was going to see the overload button kick on, but I was kind of surprised it didn't even hardly rev up. So
No.
nice little test.
It ran less than what the heater did.
It did. Alright, well, let's do the same thing for the Wen. I think what we'll do is just go ahead and Jack seems to be a pretty good expert at starting these things now.
Understand how these work real well. On. Ready?
Yep. Alright, so eco mode is on. Generator's just running, slow speed. Kick that switch. Kind of dogged down just a hair, but then it levels right back out. So if you want a 2,000 watt generator that'll run a 5,000 BTU air conditioner, there you go. Nice. It barely knocked it down, so I think that's that runs it no problem. I'm happy with it. Hit your eco switch off and unplug it, and we'll be good to go. So I think that's going to conclude our little primitive test comparing the Predator with the Wen. And well, pros and cons. So the Predator, the pros that I see with that is it's a lot easier to fill oil into the unit, and of course the gas is pretty simple. And also, one of the things I noticed is when we kicked on the air conditioner, which I thought would really put them to the test, there was no hesitation. It just kind of boosted up just a little bit and settled right out. The Wen, I mean, it performs just as well as the Predator, I think, as far as the test goes. Running a heater, running an air conditioner. The cons, what I think I don't like about this is obviously the oil fill. The oil fill is a little more difficult to get at than the Predator. It makes a little bit bigger mess, and once you think it's full and you clean everything up and you move the generator, you're going to see a little puddle of oil under the generator. So I don't like that. Also, I noticed that when we ran the air conditioner, that when we kicked the air conditioner on, this kind of dogged down a little bit before it stepped up. So I don't know if that's typical, but either way, it hesitated a little bit.
Could have been this cycle of the air conditioner too.
It could have been. Jack made a good point. It could have been, you know, we turned that air conditioner off. It could have been right in the middle of a cycle. So when we kicked it on, it, you know, really gave it a boost. So maybe not a fair test, and but all in all, I think if you're out in the boondocks and you're camping off grid and it's a cold night, either one of these will run a heater just fine. And if you find yourself out in the sticks and it's pretty warm, either one of these will run a 5,000 BTU air conditioner very well. So if you have a window unit, or if you have one of these smaller units and you created yourself a little box and you plumbed it into your trailer, it's going to run it just fine. Anything else in between, air conditioner, refrigerator, lights, things like that?
No problem.
Yeah.
Either one. I don't think you can go wrong with either one.
No. And so
this one matches my truck, so
I think Jack got the better deal, right? So his matches his truck. And
we're gonna paint his now.
Yeah, paint mine orange. But so you're looking at, you know, what did you say you paid for this?
$449.
$449, $458. So $10 cheaper. It's a little easier ergonomically to fill and clean up, and it performed really well. So I'm impressed with the Predator, the Wen. I'm impressed with the Wen. I'm happy with both of these.
Oh, yeah.
They work out really well.
I give them 2 thumbs up for both.
Yeah, yeah. And well, Jack and I talked. I'm pretty sure that they probably came out of the same factory. So there you go, side by side, Wen generator, Predator, and
zero exhaust smell from
none.
either one.
No,
Zero.
no exhaust. Even starting them up on the first pull, like no smoke, no nothing.
Nothing.
So I think the only thing that I might have to do later on is I might have to open this exhaust port hole right here open, because it's covering about 1/4 of that exhaust, and I don't know if you run this prolonged period of time whether or not that'll end up melting this screen here. So that I give a thumbs down. I don't know who approved that one, but it's not on center. So other than that, we got a couple of generators, and we're ready to do some more camping. And
let's go gorilla camping.
Boy.
Well, I want to say hi to everybody out there. Thank you for watching my build, and it was a labor of love, and I really enjoyed building it. And one camping trip into it, I'm ready to go again. There's a couple of things that I would do differently, but nothing major. And I love it. And the price is right. Come on down.
That's right.